we celebrate our Independence Day.
Dragon Con is the largest multimedia pop culture convention focusing on science fiction and fantasy, gaming, comics, literature, art, music, and film in the universe. And the best place to celebrate all of these things with fellow fans on Labor Day weekend, as posted on the Dragon Con website. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Those that know me know that my name is Mark B. Lee, and this is Mark Knows Everyone, or everybody. And as I say at the beginning of each one of these shows, it's not a title that I created. It was actually my friends, specifically my friends on my Facebook page, decided to name the show. My show focuses not on celebrities or anything. Of course, there's celebrities in my mind and maybe celebrities in your mind, but they're not the celebrities that we see, you know, on stage. They are my friends. They're people that are on my Facebook page who actually have very incredible and interesting, very, very, very interesting careers and lives. So my intention is to showcase all these people, just to bring them in front of the camera and just have a little chit chat with them and find out what it is they actually do for a living. Hell, I know more, or I know less about my friends on my Facebook page than ever. So it's basically like take them to the bar, you know, in the Marriott, and sitting down and basically looking at them in their face and go, by the way, who the hell are you anyway? So that's the intention of my show, is to basically showcase my friends. And I got a very, 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 very special guest for you today. As you guys know, I'm a member of the Dragon Con volunteer crew. And okay, I gotta say this. By the way, the gentleman who posted or made this shirt, is you're looking at him right now, is Joe Thompson. And yes, Joe, thank you. Joe created this shirt just for this year. Okay, and it is Return of the Con, Dragon Con 21. He was going to watch this program anyway, but I specifically sent a reminder and said, you got to watch this show today, because this shirt just came in the mail. I just got it 2 hours ago when I got home from work. There it was in mailbox. And I'm like, holy crap, you know, this is perfect. So, Joe, this is fantastic, man. By the way, I bought two, Joe. That's two drinks in return. But anyway, I bought two. Okay, so I have two different color ones. But I'm very black goes good with everything, and I really wanted to wear this one because I have a black hat. Nonetheless, the individual who we are celebrating tonight is the lovely, fantastic Kellen-Kelley Harkins. And I mistakenly put their senior Dragon Con director. I thought all the directors were senior, but it makes sense. She's not senior, but she is a Dragon Con director. And her department, believe it or not, is American science fiction and fantasy media. Okay, so everything, in fact, I'm going to let her go ahead and tell you what her department is all about. Kelly, how you doing? Oh, wait, I can't hear you. Oh, I know why. There you go. I think you muted yourself. You must have walked away.
Yeah, well, I was shifting around before we started, so.
Yeah, that's okay. I unmuted you. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing great. We're still in the midst of all the chaos and getting ready, since we just have a couple of weeks before we are back in the trenches with everybody. Wonderfully.
Yeah. If you think about it, when we start up on Labor Day, it would have been a solid 2 years since a live Dragon Con has happened. It's unfathomable. 2 years. We had an incredibly successful virtual Dragon Con last year, which, as fantastic as it was, because it went off incredibly well. We had celebrities, we had panels, we had the whole 9 yards. It was incredible to have a Dragon Con in your own home. It would never compare to the real thing. First off, let me ask you, how did you feel about the virtual Dragon Con that went on last year?
I think it went fabulously. I mean, granted, we were all stuck at home. I know we did a bunch of panels that we recorded, and then during the con, most of the tracks all ran live panels as well. So I think I ran, between recorded and live panels, we still ran like 15 panels last year.
Wow.
So, and that's, in the course of my office, and that was people spending time coming on panels and recording them the month before. And it was great to see the Discord chat. I ended up actually hanging out in the Marriott bar with some online friends in Discord. And so it was as close as we could get, which when I hear other cons saying, oh, we couldn't do it, it was too much work, and it was too expensive, I'm like, you have no clue.
Kelly, explain to people, and there's a lot of people, I talk so much about Dragon Con, I think a lot of people are sick and tired of hearing it from me, but anytime I can promote Dragon Con, I will. Having been and hosted conventions around the world, in all honesty, I think I'm probably the best judge of what I think is the best convention I've ever been to, and that is in fact Dragon Con. So if I'm going to go ahead and constantly tout about this show and you've never been there, the way to get me to shut up to you about it is to go to Dragon Con. What is it about Dragon Con that you like, that you have seen, that you enjoyed? And basically before, because I'm sure you attended before you became a director. So before you became a director, what was it that attracted you to Dragon Con?
Well, it's probably the same things for you too, Mark. It's that sense of community and family that Dragon Con is so good at, bringing in. It is a 24-hour experience, which few cons are nowadays. And it's just, you end up, I absolutely have my once-a-year family, people I only get to see at Dragon Con. And you connect and you talk about the strangest things, but you get it. And you find people that, you don't have to kind of preamble or anything, or like, okay, they think I'm going to be strange, because we're all in the same boat there. So unlike some other conventions where it's just, you're kind of walking through aisles and people like admire things, but you don't connect as well as you do at Dragon Con.
I agree 100%. Where the big box show, as I call them, big box show, are mainly stationed in convention centers. We're stationed over a series of, I want to say 5 hotels, but all in all, I think it's 7 buildings, maybe, including America's MARC, and maybe it is 6 buildings then.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, they've had some things go in other places here and there, but I think we're at 6 right now.
Okay, explain to us American sci-fi and fantasy media program?
Well, I think my track name is the biggest mouthful of all of the
Thanks
tracks.
a lot for that. Yeah.
I actually did try to change it a couple years ago and was
So
soundly something shorter, like, the British track gets to be Brit track, classics gets to be classics. And I was like, let's make it short. And they were like, no, this works. I'm like, huh, okay, fine. So yes, it's that we're kind of, I jokingly say we're the track that most shows start from, and then they end up, well, they used to end up here. Now we have classics that kind of takes things after a bunch of years. But so we get all the things that don't fit other places. But thankfully, there's a lot of that. So we have a big chunk of the media content that goes on. We have we have all the Marvel stuff, all the DC stuff. We have a lot of the space stuff, as long as it's not military. We've got some of the fantasy stuff that is an epic scale. So it's kind of like everything that isn't something else.
Okay. I know there's around 130 directors, but do you know exactly how many programming panels are there at DragonCon over the 4-day period, which people have extended to 5 days, I do believe? How many can you think of, or do you actually know the number of panels or numbers of programmings that happens during DragonCon in that time?
That is a big question. I believe, well, see, and then you got to say whether they're fan tracks or whether they're which things. I believe there are like 40 fan track directors. So that's still a lot. And I know, for instance, I do probably about, if I count guest panels, about 60 hours of programming over the weekend. Maybe more, maybe less. So if you add that, plus everybody else.
Yeah.
So 60 times 40, that's a lot. And that's even just the fan tracks.
Yeah, I think I remember in the past where they had posted it was 3,000 hours of programming during a DragonCon, and that was when it was still, a 4-day con. It officially is a 4-day con, but people start to show up on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever.
It's actually officially a 5-day con now.
It is officially a 5-day con. Okay, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, is a 5-day con for DragonCon. So people are actually getting there on Wednesdays and Tuesdays, only because of the entertainment value or the camaraderie, the family homey feel of the convention. I think if people get in there earlier, they can reassociate themselves with their friends and hang out before they have to go through the tedious job of attending panels and watching shows. It's let me tell you, and I tell everyone this, I think if you went to DragonCon, even for the first day, and I think it goes for probably every year, by time Monday comes around, you have done only 1% of the entire convention. It's
absolutely.
It's almost impossible to see. Go ahead.
I know there are portions that I have never seen, and I've been a volunteer and going for over 20 years. So,
I agree. I've never seen a puppet track. In fact, 2019, I'm about to say 2020, 2019, maybe even 2018 was the first time I've ever attended your sing-along.
I didn't even know you were there.
Well, believe me, you would have seen my time warp if you looked in the back of the room, because I don't want anybody to kind of laugh at me and what's that idiot doing? Are you kidding me? I know the time warp like I know the back of my hand. Tell me about this sing along. Okay, I know this is a big thing. How long has this been going on? What has happened in previous years that you really enjoy? What's going to happen this year?
Well, I think being geeks, we always have those songs, that the theme songs, or when they do musical episodes, that get stuck in your head, no question. And we were kind of thinking about it, and I was like, why don't we do a sing-along about this? And I ended up talking to the classic track, because a lot of stuff is, a bit older. And we're like, yeah, let's do this together. Let's do it Thursday night as a kind of warm up. I always call it getting started with, get the con started right. and it's grown. The first year we did it, and it was kind of unofficial. I mean, it was on the books, but and we had people lined up. The rooms were packed. It was really kind of one of those backyard show kind of things, because I was so, is this going to work? And oh boy, and it just kept growing. So
yeah, I am such a fan of theme songs. In fact, I consider myself a pro. And when I heard, and I think only because when I didn't have assignments with the programming department to do, I literally rifled through the program book and said, okay, what's happening now? What can I go see? And I saw this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And when I entered that room, and I wasn't there when you started, I think I was, it doesn't matter. But when I entered that room, I can't remember what everybody was into, but the fact was everybody was into it. And it was phenomenal, from Rocky Horror to rattle off some theme songs that, or even music in general, whatever that you've played on your sing-along.
Oh, we've did everything from Supernatural to Animaniacs to Spider-Man to Speed Racer to just all over. We just I have now a library of over 100 songs, which is much more than the time frame we have. Some work, some don't. To be honest, we usually oh, okay, that did not work, and we just kind of put it on the back burner.
Oh, give me an example. What could you not sing to? What didn't work?
Well, I'll give you an example from last year. We tried first off some fan songs, and some of them worked, but a lot of them don't, because people don't know them.
Right. And
last time we did it, since I can't say last year, I brought a song from Last Unicorn. I was like, oh man, this is a classic. Everybody will know this.
Huh?
Yeah, and it was just people were like, oh, that's nice. So I've learned over the years about the difference between cool songs also and singing songs.
Right.
So there are some that you sing more, and then, and if it's too much instrumental. So a lot of times it's an interesting balance between what gets people up and moving and what people just sit there and go, oh.
Okay, give me 2 or 3 top songs that keeps people in the room.
Oh, geez. Yeah, let me pop over to my list. Like I said,
well, I'm sure Time Warp, while you're doing that, I'm sure Time Warp was always.
Well, we've played around with Time Warp because it's one of those ones that everybody knows. Yes, absolutely. We actually have never done the original. We did the Doctor Who Time Warp, because people know that, and that way we can get Doctor Who in there as well.
Okay.
This year we might, I'm still kind of waffling on it, doing the Sabrina version of Time Warp.
Oh, so, I gotta look those up. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I have to look those
so
up.
That's there's a lot of that. So we try to do those. We've gotten criticized for too much Queen sometimes.
What?
People like to get a move to Queen. Yes.
Burn them at the stage.
So
burn them at the stage.
Whether it's Flash or, just so many versions of different Queen songs, that have come and gone. So that gets a lot of play usually. I've gone through a lot. I know, Mark, you've done a lot of animation themes, and we've tried to pull out. Some of them actually just don't sing as well, and a lot of them are instrumental. So
yeah. Well, but Spider-Man always works. Spider-Man, that one always works. Okay, so that's your sing-along, and I've always seen a packed room. Well, I can't say always. I've only been there one time or 2 times maybe, and it's always a packed room. It's amazing, and it's a deep room. But you also show videos during the sing-alongs with subtitles. Is that correct?
Yes. So the very first year, it was stuff I just snagged from YouTube, which is never the world's best quality. And we had a gentleman who was helping us the next year, because people were like, well, I don't know the words. And he added some in, and then I have kind of taught myself. And plus, because we are in the Hilton North Ballroom, I realized that putting subtitles below didn't really work as well. So I have developed the talent of super I don't know, subscript, superscript, subtitles, supertitles. So they go on top because so the people all the way in the back can actually see them.
Yeah, smart.
Which has been an interesting learning experience. I was just before kind of working on a new song that we're going to have for this year because I've got like 8 new songs for this year. So
okay, do you want to keep them all secret, or is there any one of those you can share with us?
I can share 2 because I think I'd get shot if I didn't have them. So
okay, listen up, folks.
We are definitely going to add toss a coin to your Witcher, no question.
What, okay, novice here. Novice, sorry, mundane. What? Who? When?
Your geek creds, slipping
I'm
here.
sorry. Come on now. I got geek creds in other categories, but
I know.
This has got to be a
was
new
from
show.
the Witcher series.
Oh, okay. Well, never saw it, but okay. Sorry. I'll keep up. I'll go back and research. And what's the other one?
And the other one is, of course, all about Agatha. So,
yeah, I heard that one. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, Marvel and so those 2 are definitely coming in this year. And that's the thing, at least with the super titles, you will be able to kind of sing along even if you haven't seen them or you don't know them as well. So
do you have the Brady Bunch?
I don't, because I try to keep with genre stuff. No, Brady Bunch isn't genre. There's a difference. This is the geeky sing-along. So there have been things we have said no because it's not geeky. And I don't generally have Disney because there are Disney sing-alongs galore.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Yes. So we stick to pretty much anything that, and still I have over 100 songs, and there are a bunch more that I haven't even brought into play.
Well, thank you for not doing Disney. Just let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. Okay. All right. So that's the sing along. So that's just one item, one piece of programming from your 60. Let me ask you, without you going through all 60, what is your favorite program? And I'm going to ask you something about celebs. What is your favorite program that you have created or that you have gotten on your list?
Well, we don't do a lot of consistent things over the years. I try to stick to a lot of the shows because there is usually a lot of times that even smaller shows, I try to get all the shows I cover at least some coverage because there's always fans for everything. Whether it's a Haven, which was a very small show, all the way up to like Battlestar Galactica when it was at its biggest. That was before military sci-fi media came into play.
Sure.
That we had dealt with it all then. And so I try to really focus on even the smallest shows get things like we're going to have panels on Pennyworth. We're going to have panels on Project Power, which was a Netflix movie, a superhero movie.
Okay.
So we try to bring in a lot of that. Unfortunately, some of our biggest events I am not going to do this year because of COVID. So I have chosen like our charity event, which is our kind of team-oriented Cards Against Humanity game, which is called Heroes, Villains, and Humanity. And that was our charity event. But because it got a little raucous and it was always after 10 o'clock and there was a lot of alcohol that went around. And,
oh, wow.
But
I can imagine that fight.
it was always a lot of fun, but very inappropriate.
Okay. Wow.
With that in mind, I said, we're not going to do that this year. I chose to bow out of that one. And instead, we're going to do a Zoe sing-along. I don't know if you ever have watched Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Yes, I have, actually. And I really like that show. I like the actress. I like the guy she's dating off, whatever. But yes, I have. So that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, Sunday night, rather than doing that, we're going to be doing, we're going to do a Zoe panel. And then after that, another sing-along with focusing just on that. Because although word is that they might get a Christmas movie, it is sadly gone.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's the talk. We'll see. Well, I believe it when I hear cameras are rolling.
Right, I agree with you. Is there any first-time series that you're focusing on, other than Zoe and what you're mentioning already, that you're going to focus on? Is there any other really first-time series this year? I'm trying to bring up this clip I want to show you, but yeah, answer that question first while I fiddle.
Well,
here.
the one that's liable to be an interesting discussion is the Nevers. We are going to be doing that. I mean, because we had the kind of year and I couldn't do full panels on everything, there are going to be things like Batwoman, who's never had, we never did get to do a panel on that last year. Right. So this year we're going to have 2 years worth of material to discuss for that. We're going to do that. We're going to also talk about the movies that have come out in the past year: Wonder Woman, Black Widow, Suicide Squad, a lot of those. A lot of the different ones along those lines. And of course, we're going to be hitting some good ones like The Expanse, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, all those. Those are all new in the past year too.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, obviously I don't have the video that I wanted to show, but I'll go ahead and that will be so much fun. Zoe is good. Okay. Someone, I don't know if this is the place in the question or not here, not exactly PG. You were talking about the nighttime bit, but obviously people are liking so far what you're bringing up or what you're gonna have to present. Okay, let me ask you, what is probably the worst thing that you've had during your Labor Day weekend, let's say, in the programming that you wouldn't do again?
Oh boy, that's a tough question.
I'm sorry.
I've been a director for 12 years, so
that was going to be one of my questions. How long? Okay.
to think about it. Well, I've been a volunteer longer, but I've been a director now. This will be my 12th year.
Right.
But so I'm trying to think back. Honestly, most all of my experiences have been pretty good. I can't argue. Just some people who get contentious, I've had to put panelist guidelines in place because unfortunately some people don't know the meaning of civil debate, civil discussion, but that's our world nowadays.
Yeah.
So
and we're gonna talk about that a lot in depth, not with you, but I'm doing a moderator show on the 23rd, and it's with 6 of us, I think, of the pro moderators that handle some of your panels and some of the other directors' panels. And I'm going to get into a discussion of civil discourse in a room. People who insist on having their answers or their questions answered for various reasons, putting actors in positions they don't like to be in, and blah, blah, blah. But this is what I think I found what I want to show, which is the first one. I want you to explain this to me, okay? So let's watch a little bit of this.
This is the wall of dead shows. Let's all shed a tear for the Cape. Okay, that's enough. I don't know. Farscape. Okay. Okay, now we should the thing for it should be just that, like half of it, because then the last half was Blood Ties. Was that even on? What was Blood Ties?
That's what I was thinking.
Not Lightning with the Lightning, but one of those channels.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to spring that to you. But what exactly was going on in that room?
Well, the way of course, every director kind of decorates their track room. And I had hit upon, kind of these floating logo kind of title things. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I was like, well, now we have these shows that are gone, but we made these logos. What do we do with them? So I said, wait, they're dead. So we kind of we actually put a little graveyard scene up on one corner and we put all the dead shows in one corner. So,
well, that's great. It seems like you have a lot of fun with your volunteers, not just putting them to work.
Which they're just as much my family as anyone else. Cause
that's
we
great
chat
to
through
hear.
the year. And so,
oh, wait. Oh, wait, there's more.
See, what's great is eventually all the shows here are all going to be over here. Bum, bum, bum.
And like I said, that is so good that you have that closeness with your staff, your team.
Well, that actually is Joe Crow, who's the director of the classics track.
Oh,
so, and Joe likes to say, you know, everything comes to him eventually. You know?
Oh, I was about to say, did he invade your room and basically throw his opinion on what? It was.
Well, Joe used to actually have time. He doesn't have time anymore. To when I would do a kind of a genre media catch up, he would always predict which show was going to get canceled first.
Wow!
And then the next year, if he was right, which he never was, he'd have to do a little dance.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And of course, Joe is used to being told that all of his shows are dead, right?
Right. He is well used to that. So, and has no hesitation doing some very weird, awesome programming. In fact, I'm trying to take some clues from him because they are really good at interacting with everyone for some of the material I'm going to do, which, Mark, you read comics back in the day, didn't you?
Careful, you. Careful. What do you mean back in the day? What exactly is back in the day to you? Like, how far are you going?
We're about the same age. So
how far are you going, Kellen? Now, yes, we're probably the same age, but no one else knows that. But what are you talking about exactly?
Well, I kind of struck, since superheroes are such a big component in my track.
Yes.
We'll see if this works, but Joe does a roller panel that he does, which is always very bizarre and very funny.
Okay.
So, and it's like got one of the, I think you have a picture of some of the big dice and things. So I kind of stole it for some other things. We've used it when we used to do our game show of Thrones, but which is what those are. And then this year though, I was like, I still want to kind of do something. And with Heroes, so we are going to do the Roll H for Hero. So if you remember the old Dial H for Hero comics.
Yeah, so oh my God, yes, Dial H for Hero. Oh my God, how do you know that? Yes. Oh my God.
So that's why it kind of popped into my head. I wanted to kind of combine the two concepts so that we're going to pull out some weird media heroes. So we don't, step on anybody else's toes from other tracks.
Right.
And we're going to be kind of doing this lightning round kind of thing. We'll see. This one is totally new. So
Joe Thompson, are you listening to this? I like your feedback on that. Joe, you heard what Kelly just said. Oh my God, that is amazing. Well, keep me posted if I don't have any, thing to do, which is rare. Just give me a holler. But
yeah, I think you're going to be busy, but
yeah, I think so too. But tell me a little bit about some of the celebrities that you have met, some of the A-list people that you have had at your panel. And of course, here's a classic show and it's really interesting how we remember them and then when they show up to us in person, we go, wait a minute, who the hell are you? So explain to the audience here who you're looking at.
Well, this was from 2-3 years ago when we had the Smallville cast showed up. Now, Michael Rosebaum, who's in the middle there, who was Lex Luthor, has been to DragonCon before,
yes.
But Tom Welling had never come before this year.
Right.
And it was kind of at the borderline. I was like, no, I want this panel before we pass it off to Joe and Classics, who is going to be doing the Smallville panels this year.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's an expiration date on some of these shows, so they may not qualify for your programming if they are in fact. What's the limit? 2 years gone? 3 years gone? Gone?
Technically, it is 10 years gone after the ending date.
Right.
Some we have had a little bit of leniency, but then some other tracks, we'll keep covering things if they're theirs. Like the Battlestar Galactica, obviously, is on military sci-fi.
Yeah.
Firefly is there. Supernatural now has been gone, but Urban Fantasy covers that. So some of those shows that already have a niche, they won't kind of go to Joe. But as far as like the mainstream stuff,
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. So 10 years. 10
Yes.
years. 10
So
years.
yeah, Smallville's been gone more than 10 years.
More than 10 years. I'm wondering what has just crossed over, which is what is 9 3/4 years now, and maybe next month there'll be 10 years. I don't know. I can't think
That's
of
a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I
10
will say,
years.
if you get the chance to go to one of those panels, Michael Rosenbaum is priceless to see.
I know he's a nut.
He is awesome to see. He just goes. I warned you. I said, just let him loose. Just
let him
he'll
loose.
just run around and yeah.
Yes, that's interesting. And who do we have here?
These are actually are just, this was from the sing along actually.
Oh,
and
great!
You, see
you guys
fake mics. So
yeah, we didn't mention that, but you do have people in the front dancing and doing whatever during these sing-alongs, correct?
Yeah, we might not have as much because we would usually end up with a conga line and different things like that during it.
Yeah.
That's from Cuban Pete from The Mask.
Oh my God!
Did that song.
Yes, yes, I know that song.
But with that in mind, and of course, we did some Barnum songs before there was a Barnum sing along, or the Greatest Showman sing along. But so yeah, there's a lot of that too. So there's no celebrity in there, but definitely a lot of fans that are loving what we do. So.
Well, speaking of celebs, I think I moderated this panel.
You very well might have. That was also.
I did because I remember
6 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, a long time ago. Wow, look at that.
So that was obviously an Arrow panel. So I do all the CW heroes. So those all come, and we're gonna have some more of those this year. So that was pretty awesome. I don't usually get in the pictures,
which is wrong because I don't do autographs ever.
I don't usually have time to ever get over there.
Yeah, same here. But even if I did, I don't value autographs as much as other people do. But this is what I value. This is what people can come into when they come into my house, I can point to the wall, or they'll see it and go, "No, you didn't," and that's my prize for doing or for meeting these great people. So that's
true. The con actually doesn't encourage us to do that because the backstage area is supposed to kind of be their safe space.
Yes,
but
I
actually, my work was like, I wanted to kind of showcase some of the things that I was doing because my work is luckily very good about this stuff. They're a big geeky place anyway. So I wanted to be able to look, this is what I'm doing. And so I was like, kind of not, and then they were like, "Oh, come take the picture." I'm like, "Okay, good."
Yeah, and they do that. I may have violated some rules by asking, but I don't get any other reward, in my personal opinion. And I know, and I know we got a lot of people that are listening and have to pay for these type of autographs, but it's just a small reward that we ask for. We don't get the autographs. We just want a picture with them, and then we go along our merry way. And I hope we're forgiven, or at least I'm forgiven for having done that. I doubt I'll quit, but that's just something that's been happening. And you have in fact done panels. You've been your own celebrity on a panel. What exactly is this panel? And these are all shows that probably were still on at the time.
Yes, obviously you can see Haven's been long gone. Once Upon a Time is now long gone. Killjoys is gone. There's a lot of this that's gone.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
Outlander has since moved on to another track, as have Game of Thrones and things like that. So a lot of stuff I don't even have anymore from this list.
Wow.
But that's, it's an organic changing over of things. So I have no recollection of what this panel was. But probably one of those. Yeah.
Okay. Have you and if this is too personal, or if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine too. But have you had any unfortunate circumstances during Dragon Con, specifically dealing with your department, shall I say? Because you could have an unfortunate incident in the lobby of the Hyatt, or things that I'm talking about in terms of business related. Have you had any unfortunate circumstances?
Only, the kind of things that whenever you have large groups of people, like I have unfortunately had things stolen from our track room, things like that, which no matter how many good eggs you have, one bad egg will, always show up.
Sure.
So, so only things like that for the most part. I generally gotten really good response. I think we were one of the first tracks on Facebook and kind of encouraging that kind of dialogue throughout the year, not just like coming up to con, so that people are chattering on there all year round about what's coming, especially now that we have much more of a 24 or 12-month cycle of things rather than the September rollout of shows. So I can't really say, some experiences probably weren't as good as they could have been, but for the most part, I'd say, I've been really lucky, and I think that's one of the reasons I love Dragon Con, because the good almost always outweighs the bad.
Yeah, I agree. Explain to me how this format works of you obtaining guests. Is Dragon Con management told these people are coming, blah, 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 blah? Do you request to go after people, blah, 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 blah? How does this work?
It's usually much higher than my pay grade. But they do ask us for a wish list at the kind of the beginning of the year. And there have been times that I have made connections. I got very lucky with Eureka when we had Eureka.
Oh, yeah,
so
sure.
Kevin Grazier actually connected me with the producer of the show, the creator and producer of the show. And I ended up chatting, through email. I'm so not stalking, but and through that, I was able to get his contact information to Rachel, our con goddess.
Sure, our con goddess, absolutely.
And through that, they were able to make arrangements to bring a lot of the Eureka cast to Dragon Con.
Awesome.
And that actually, the first year we had the Expanse cast was something along those lines too.
Oh, okay, yeah, awesome. Right. Well, that's great. Folks, you're in a chat room right now. A few of you, as you notice, I've been putting responses up on the screen. Good question. Just because this is what I was going to lead into. Let me put this one up first. Basically, he's so much fun. His podcast, fantastic, yada, yada, yada. But with Jennifer's questions right here was, yes, do you have a wish list? Who was on your wish list for this year?
Oh, well, obviously everybody was like, oh, can't you get Marvel people and things like that? I'm like, they're in town, but the year James Gunn showed up was kind of unusual.
Yes, that was a great panel. Yeah.
But usually we can't get those levels of people. Hopefully one day they'll, go to something other than San Diego.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think there's one guest I have always kind of wished for. He's not actually, wouldn't be on my track anymore, which is kind of sad.
Oh, no.
But I would love to have Clancy Brown come to.
Oh, my God. Clancy Brown, a great voice actor, too. He was Lex Luthor on DC, Superman, the animated series.
Yeah, everything Highlander, the original Highlander, on out. And, Carnival, all these kind of things. And he's so good. And I would just,
Do you remember the sci-fi television series that he did?
Yes, he did. I actually have the theme song, but there's no words to it.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a theme song, but yeah, I know what you're getting at now.
Yeah, I'm spacing the name. They went back in time.
No.
That too, then.
Oh, okay. We're talking about two different ones then. That's interesting. Okay.
Which one are you thinking of?
Earth 2.
Earth 2, they went back in time.
They did? Okay. I'm all.
That's why they were dinosaurs.
Yeah. Okay. Earth 2. Oh,
yes.
Okay. I hope we're talking about.
It actually has a really awesome theme.
Yeah. Well, so I can't remember seeing him at a con anywhere. I gotta stop shaking his.
I understand he does not do cons.
Oh,
sad.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. Well, we can wish. People change their minds after a while. Okay. Anybody else?
Actors have bills they need to pay. So
yeah. Thank you. I wasn't going to say it, but you said it already, and you're absolutely right. There are some actors out there who depend a lot on conventions for their annual intake,
sure.
and hopefully, I don't want anybody to ever get into that position where they need us, but it could happen. Anybody else on your wish list?
Oh, geez. Because, I mean, I would love, of course, now my name just escaped my brain.
Give me the show.
Well, let's start with Lord of the Rings. Orlando Bloom. I would love to have Orlando Bloom come.
Oh, yes. You and I both. Yeah, that would be great.
Because, he's, of course, had many, Lord of the Rings things, and he's done Musketeers, and he's also currently doing Carnival Row, which is a show I love.
And married to a really hot actress.
I didn't ever check that part out, but I've always enjoyed a lot of his kind of feed that he does, and so.
Yeah, Jennifer agrees with you. Orlando Bloom would be a good one. I agree. Guys, I'm going to show you another clip, and then we'll have about another 5 or 10 minutes with Kelly. So if you have any questions about her tract that you like to ask, even if you ask questions about Dragon Con, we're going to forward you to who probably has a better answer for you. We'll try to answer everything and anything that we possibly can, but just bear in mind that we're not going to get into any legalities about current situations because we are not the appropriate source to pass out rumors, informations, things of that sort, because it will grow into a freaking forest fire if in fact the answer is not correct. And even if it is correct, it will still grow into a forest fire. So we try to stay away from that. Go ahead, Kelly. I hear you.
I was going to say, yeah, I know we had talking about this is as far as the sing-along goes.
Right. Yes, that's true. I
of
did
course,
say
that. Masks are going to be required at Dragon Con. That's just a simple fact. And I know I have a really cool mask for the sing-along, and I've gotten one of those inserts that you can put behind your mask so you can talk easier. Yes. So that is what I am planning to do for most of the weekend, to have that and my mask. So
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the protocols that are going to be installed for Dragon Con should not make anyone angry in the sense of not being able to sing. But Kelly just made a good point. There are those inserts, the plastic inserts, and basically they push the mask away from your mouth so you can, move your mouth and hear better, whatever. There are a number of various masks out there, some that aren't even cloth at all. I've been seeing things on Facebook, and I got already burned once already by buying something off of Facebook. You see all those info ads that are on Facebook, and I actually fell into a trap knowing that this was coming from China. But I love what I see. Sometimes they look better than what you actually receive. And those are the clear dome masks that go over your face. You can see your mouth and nose and everything, and it's clear.
And it probably won't be there for like 6 months.
Yes, they look cool. Okay. That's as far as I can probably go. They look cool, and I'm afraid that people are going to buy them just solely for that. They look cool, but are they? The airport, I checked into a flight, and I had a mask that had the little round plastic filter button or whatever on the side of it, and I was on a flight, and they would not let me wear that. They actually gave me a disposable one of the blue masks because they said this doesn't rate amongst their list of, accessible or agreeable mask or whatever. So, hey guys, so let me go ahead and show you this. We're happy that we have, and guys that are just joining us, I'm going to go ahead and play that beginning at the end as we chime out. But we're really happy to have Kellen Harkins. You can call her Kelly, and she is the director for the American Sci-Fi and Media or Fantasy Media track at Dragon Con, one of many. Like I said before, Dragon Con is known to have at least 3,000 hours of program. I'm sure that's probably scaled down to maybe a third, for this year. Either way, you still won't be able to do it all. So it's still going to be a very, very exciting and interesting show. And let me preface this by saying Dragon Con, and the reason why I consider it the best is because of its variety. There's not a regiment in terms of cattle call, go to the left, cattle call, go to the right. You're literally going from room to room to room, or you go to a panel room, then you go back out to the dealer's room, then you come back to a panel, and then you go back out to the dealer's room, then you go to another panel, and so on and so on and so on. Somebody mentioned, where is it? Somebody mentioned.
I also appreciate that Dragon Con is one price.
Yeah.
One price.
Absolute incredible point. You're not going to pay extra to go into a room to see an actor. You're not going to pay a premium, for someone being announced who you as a newbie or whatever, even experienced, you say, oh, great, I get to see so-and-so. Well,
right.
There's a price to seeing so-and-so. Dragon Con is only a price to get in the door. Okay.
Yeah, or a price to sit in the front row for a panel. The price. Oh, no, there's none of that.
The only downfall is the lines start early and they wrap around the block. I am shocked when I'm rushing to a ballroom to get to a panel and I'm passing a line and I have to ask people, what's this line for? It's like, oh, for Stan Lee. And I'm like, oh my God, they're outside, and that's the downfall is the early bird catches the worm. Okay. But somebody mentioned this. Joe mentioned this. I've never been to the puppet track. Never. I hear so much about it. Another thing that I've never been to, which you would think I would have no interest in seeing, but my God, I gotta see this, and that is the kilt blowing contest.
I've never seen it. I've heard about it.
And folks, it's exactly, if those of you guys are listening to us right now, it's exactly what it sounds like. A kilt. Okay, who wears kilts? A kilt blowing, and the devices that they use, the leaf blowers that they use. And they only give them to the women. The women sign up for it, get in a line or whatever, hand it a leaf blower, and the guy is up on stage doing his most awesome pose or whatever. And, the women have at it, and all you hear is the leaf blower and screams.
I know several people who have gone to it. One year maybe I'll get to, but probably not.
Yeah, I always make a point to at least go see the live wrestling, too, when I get there. I love walking into that room and hearing body slams and people screaming at their favorite wrestler. Yes, folks, this is a convention that has live wrestling. Tell me another one that does. Okay, I dare you. All right, so let's go ahead and play this last clip, and then we're going to say a few other things, and then we're out of here, guys.
That one guy just will not watch Big Bang Theory. Thank you so much.
How were you there? Were you responsible for that?
No, that was one of Joe's. I don't know. I'm lucky to get anything done. So I have a hard time remembering to even record any panels. So
well, that's fantastic. And Big Bang Theory has not fallen into his track yet.
Won't be long.
Yeah, so. You said 10 years, so okay, but that was pretty interesting there. Let me see. Jennifer just did a LOL. All right, once again, guys, Kellen Harkins, I'm just going to call her Kelly. Okay, is one of many directors, 100 and something odd directors, running track. There's only, I think you said 40 track directors.
I think there's 40 fan tracks.
40 fan tracks. Okay. And out of all of those people, they provide you with quality programming at a con. All right. There's never really enough time to eat. And in fact, before I was a volunteer, I got remember the pocket size program, the little square, and it was as thick as that, but you got it in the mail. Or if you didn't get it in the mail, actually you got it first time at the con. I go up to my room and I got a highlighter, which I suggest everyone bring a highlighter to a convention, folks. And then I'd go through and see what I wanted to see. And they're grouped alphabetically by track, alphabetically by name, alphabetically by content, the whole 9 yards, alphabetically by day. And you can go in there and see what it is you want to attend, start highlighting stuff. But now that we have the app, sorry, hold on. When's the app going to be ready?
Usually it's a week before the con.
That's the drinking game.
It is. You have those people who are like, they were asking 6 months ago. It's like,
yeah, when's the app going to be ready? Oh, I did it again. Sorry. and you have to drink. And online, people just type the word drink because, you know, and of course, the person asking the question didn't know what the hell's going on. What? What I say? What I do? What you doing? You know. But anyway, Kelly is an incredible individual, very good at her job. What do you do full time?
I actually teach at Full Sail University, which is a very geeky place here in Orlando, which Mark has probably bumped into a few times.
Very
so
yes.
we create new filmmakers, new game makers, new graphic designers, story writers. So it's fun to work in a place that totally gets what you do.
Yes,
so
that's fantastic.
When I say I'm going to DragonCon, they're like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Or they say, "I want to go," or "I've always wanted to go," or you know, of course, you get.
There's always a chunk of people who do go.
I don't explain at my office anymore. I just pop on a YouTube, you know, video or something. So I don't explain. I say just look, you know. So that's how I get by. But Kelly, this has been fantastic. Thank you for joining me. You did a solid hour with me. I really, really appreciate you joining me. This is probably the only director I'm going to have prior to showtime, but we will have all of the pro moderators on the 23rd. Tony, the two Tonys, and what's the girls' names? I've never met them, to be honest with you.
I actually don't think I've had any of them as moderators on any of my panels. That would be cool. I've never
yeah. So
I think you guys should do a moderator class, though.
Well, we've been asked that, believe it or not, but
not for celebrities, because that I find actually I could really use moderators on fan panels.
That's really interesting that you ask. Yeah, watch that show on the 23rd because we're going to touch on those questions. We're gonna, how do you do what you do? You know, what gives you, how do you get up the nerve to get up there next to someone who's your idol or not your idol or blah, blah, blah. How do you get, and I get this all the time. Well, you have to have heard me mention it. And that is basically, I can moderate anything. The key to moderating anything is doing your homework, because I may have never seen the show, ever. What track is the show Rain in?
Oh, well, the first year was us, but now that is in the alt history track.
Well, wait a minute. So I did it the first year. I think
the first year you did it was when you were on my track.
I had no idea who I was sitting up there with. Of course, I did my homework, so I knew, you know, who to call out. I researched and know who these people were. We're very, very interested and excited about who these people actually were and what they did in their job. But that's one of the things we're going to talk about in the moderators panel of how do you prepare yourself to be on the track. So that's on the 23rd, folks. My next show is tomorrow morning, Saturday morning cartoons at 9 a.m. Actually, Joe is our guest host for Saturday morning cartoons. Tomorrow morning, Joe, you better go take a nap, boy. You're old. And he's doing DC Animated Universe. So he's going to be talking about all of the DC animated series that we all love. And that's his gig tomorrow. And of course, I'll have this next week, as well as Classic Television SmackDown I do next Friday. And of course, Saturday morning cartoons again. So I've been busy. This StreamYard Zoom, we should all call Zooming. This stuff that came up just created, you know, show hosts out of just about anybody. 5-year-olds hosting shows, you know, things of that. But what I like about it is I can contact people like you and say, hey, come talk to my audience, rather than, I don't know how else I would have done it, you know, without this platform. So look, guys, this has been Kellen Harkins, the wonderful, beautiful, I love your hair. Usually her hair is, wait for it. Usually her hair is, you know, I don't have a purple one of you.
It changes. I've done blue. I've done, after, as you can see by the short hair, after I had cancer, I said, screw it. I'm going to change its color, because, you know, how many times in your life can you do that?
That,
you know,
a girl.
Been conservative for too long. And then I finally said,
bless your heart for being a survivor. But obviously this is before or after, because obviously your hair is longer.
That was after, but it's still shorter than it is now. So
wow. Yeah.
That was after.
And you let it grow all the way out, which is great. So
yes.
Can't wait to see you at DragonCon and what you look like then.
It's not that much left. It's only 3 weeks, so I don't think I'm going to change a lot between now and then. Maybe a little purple, but
don't remind me. Excuse me for coughing. Don't remind me. It's been 3 weeks, but thank you for this, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Mark Knows Everybody, and my guest, Kellen Harkins. Whoop! How did I do that? Did I just knock myself off? No, I didn't. Okay, good. I'm still here. Thank you, guys, and we're going to see you. Hopefully, you guys will visit us tomorrow morning, because that might be something interesting if you're into Saturday morning cartoons, because that's what we do on Saturday morning cartoons. So thank you, guys. We'll play this all the way through for people who just joined us late. And Kelly, I will talk to you on the backside via Facebook or whatever.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, Mark. It was a lot of fun.
You were very, very informative, and I'm really happy for you to be here as well, as I fiddle around with buttons here to get this off so I can do this. Thanks, guys. Good night, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We celebrate our Independence Day.